A day earlier, two young couples brought their beloved pet pig to a remote island for a date. The beautiful scenery added to the romantic atmosphere, but while they were riding jet skis, an unexpected accident occurred. The two jet skis collided with great force, leaving them damaged and sinking into the deep sea. Tessa suddenly realized that her boyfriend was missing. When Kaya finally found her boyfriend, Julian, he was badly hurt and coughing heavily. Now, only the two girls remained on the vast ocean. They called out for Tessa's boyfriend again and again, but as the sun began to set, there was still no response. As the two stood helpless in the open sea, danger was already approaching from below. The freezing water made their bodies go numb. Just then, they spotted a fishing boat in the distance. Desperate for help, they shouted and waved with all their strength. Ray, the man on the boat, noticed something and raised his binoculars. When he saw the two girls, a strange look flashed across his face. As the fishing boat drew closer, Kaya finally began to feel a sense of relief. But once they were brought aboard, things took a turn. Julian wasn't the only one who was injured. Tessa had also suffered an internal wound. When Ray learned that there were only 3 of them and no one else knew their location, he immediately offered to call for help. But the moment he stepped into the cabin, his expression changed. Meanwhile, Tessa tried to find some water for Julian. Kaya waited a long time but didn't see Tessa return. Worried something might have happened, she went to look for her. As soon as she entered the cabin, she heard a thumping sound. But when Kaya called out Tessa's name, the noise suddenly stopped. Kaya walked toward the control room and noticed that the radio had been switched off. At that very moment, Ray appeared.
Thank you for getting us out of the water.
Sure. Sure.
When Kaya slowly regained consciousness, she found herself trapped in a dark cabin below deck. She quickly woke Tessa up. Seeing Tessa in pain, Kaya tried climbing the stairs to find a way out, but everything above was sealed tight. She searched around the cabin and noticed rust marks on the metal bed frames. When she looked closely at the top panel above the bed, she realized it might be able to open. As Kaya tried to lift it, Tessa noticed strange scratch marks on the bed. What on earth had happened here? What was the secret hidden on this fishing boat? At that moment, the two girls felt as if they had fallen into a nightmare. The next day, as Kaya studied how to escape, she heard footsteps above. Ray opened the hatch and lowered a basket filled with food. Kaya was confused and asked what he wanted from them. She demanded to know where her friend was and told him they needed a doctor. Ray calmly replied that a doctor would arrive soon. Kaya begged him to let them go, but Ray's face turned cold. He pulled the basket back up and slammed the door shut. No matter how much Kaya screamed, Ray never answered again. The two girls could only hold each other and cry. Later, while Kaya was sharpening a piece of metal into a weapon, she heard a faint sound. She followed the noise carefully and realized it was a boat approaching. It was a man named Doc, who seemed to be a doctor. Hearing the sound of his anchor dropping, Kaya felt a surge of hope. It turned out Ray really had brought a doctor, but when Doc saw Julian lying on the deck, his expression didn't show any surprise. After examining him, Doc said Julian's condition couldn't be treated. Soon, the hatch to the girls' cabin was opened, but when Doc saw the two imprisoned girls, he didn't seem shocked either. Doc examined Tessa's injury, while Kaya seemed to be thinking of a plan. Ray pulled out a knife, his eyes cold and calculating. When Doc finished his check, he handed Ray some cash. He said, "The injured girl, Tessa, probably won't make it to shore. As for Kaya, she can stay for now." Kaya then heard footsteps above her head. It was Ray and Doc preparing to perform surgery on Julian. Realizing something was wrong, Kaya climbed up to peek through the opening. She saw Doc draw a mark on Julian's chest. Then he picked up a power tool. Kaya screamed for them to stop, but her cries were in vain. She and Tessa could only cling to each other and weep in despair. Afterward, Kaya grabbed her improvised weapon again. As she tried to pry open the hatch, Doc had already finished his so-called surgery. He placed something taken from Julian into a cooler box. Then Julian's body was thrown into the sea. Moments later, several fins appeared, and the water soon went still again. Soon after, the hatch was opened once more. Doc took a few photos, and Ray tried to drag Tessa away. Kaya desperately tried to save her, but she was too weak to fight back. There was nothing she could do. Sometime later, Kaya woke up again. She knew she couldn't waste another moment.
You'll be okay.
She quietly made her way back to the hatch. Then she sneaked into the control room, but the radio was broken.
Mayday, I need help. I need help.
Suddenly, she heard footsteps approaching. At the same time, she saw Doc about to harm Tessa.
You gonna shoot me?
Ray must have heard the commotion and rushed over, but by the time he arrived, Doc was already lying on the ground, barely breathing. Ray then spotted the lifeboat. In a panic, he grabbed 2 metal rods and stabbed them toward it, but Kaya and Tessa were nowhere to be found. He picked up a flashlight and searched the boat frantically, yet the 2 girls had vanished as if they had disappeared into the sea itself. Then, Ray unwillingly scanned the ocean. Finally, he spotted the 2 women in order to escape from his pursuit. They had abandoned all their survival gear. The next moment, Ray switched on the searchlight, but just as he was about to start the fishing boat, he realized the engine had died. When he went down to the engine room, he found that the wires had been cut by Kaya. At that moment, the current kept pushing toward the fishing boat. Tessa was already wounded. She weakly told Kaya to leave as fast as she could, because she knew she wouldn't make it. Kaya tried to encourage her, insisting she wouldn't leave her behind, but Tessa let go of her hand.
I'll come back for you. I'll come back for you.
Then Kaya gathered all her remaining strength and swam forward with everything she had. Up ahead was Doc's boat. This was the moment she unleashed every ounce of her will to survive. She swam desperately toward the boat. It was their only hope. Finally, Kaya made it aboard. She hurried to the control room. Quickly, she turned on the radio and called for help. This time, someone actually responded, overwhelmed with relief. Kaya immediately explained what had happened. The voice on the other end told her to find the GPS locator once activated. They could track her exact position. Just then, Kaya noticed something. On the laptop screen was a video which showed another victim, even children. Kaya was horrified. What kind of monster was this Doc? Following the instructions, she quickly found the GPS locator, but the person on the radio said it needed to get wet to activate the signal. Right at that moment, Kaya heard something. Someone was boarding the boat. Terrified, she backed away step by step. The next second, Ray appeared and stabbed Kaya. She fell helplessly to the floor. Through her blurry vision, Kaya could see Ray screaming in pain, but she herself had no strength left. With great effort, she grabbed the GPS and tried to throw it outside, but it only landed on the deck. Kaya no longer had any energy to move. After some time, the rocking of the boat caused the GPS to slide. It finally fell into the sea. The signal was activated. The next morning, a rescue speedboat raced toward Kaya's location. Soon, they found the wounded Kaya.
Ma'am, can you hear me? Ma'am, can you hear me?
I've got both.